Another warm and hazy day across the Minot area, and temperatures topping out in the 80s today. We're at 83 right now, 81 in Bottineau and Stanley. Rugby reporting 80 degrees right now, and you can kind of see a bit of that smoke and haze in the sky. You kind of smell it here at the surface as well. That's going to linger overhead through the evening and overnight hours, and that is reducing air quality. Not unhealthy at the moment, unlike this time yesterday, but still in the moderate category throughout the entire Peace Garden state. And even on visible satellite, we can see a bit of that smoke plume that's coming out of Canada that extends along US 83 down into Bismarck and is continuing to push south. So that is that thicker wildfire smoke that is aloft and trying to push to the surface. On the other hand, over the James River Valley, you can see those taller cloud tops. Those are thunderstorms that are forming. You'll notice a little bit of a counterclockwise circulation as well between Bismarck and Jamestown. That's a little bit of an area of low pressure that is producing thunderstorms in and around Jamestown. From Woodworth, Medina, the storm for them is pushing southward, but Gackle is next for that. Other than that, we're dry here across north central North Dakota, but the same can't be said from Chicago down into St. Louis, where they're dealing with the remnants of Beryl, still producing lots of rain from Chicago, St. Louis, and even some pop-up thunderstorms in parts of southern Illinois and Indiana, which has spawned some severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. So Beryl still doing its thing, but eventually it will push out of the U.S. and residents can recover afterwards. But for now, expect hazy conditions to linger overnight and continue through much of your Wednesday. That's going to be statewide. Temperatures tomorrow going to be a bit on the warmer side, and we will be back in the 80s once again for your Wednesday afternoon. So another warm day. Hot weather still in Montana for now, but eventually as that ridge pushes eastward, we'll start to feel 90s across the region. Morning lows, we're going to be right near 60 degrees as we head out the door tomorrow morning. As for our highs, we'll likely be in the 80s again. And notice even by midnight, there's still potential for midnight tomorrow that some of us may still be right near that 70-degree mark. So don't be surprised if many of us don't get out of the 60s for tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, low to mid 80s are going to be likely, and notice not very much wind, mostly out of the southeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Our best chance of 90s in Minot are going to be starting Thursday and likely continuing through at least the weekend. And then we're back in the 80s next week. But just keep in mind, it's going to be a bit on the hotter side and humid side for Friday as well as the weekend. So not only will we be dealing with those upper 80s and 90s, but we'll also be dealing with humidity levels rather high and the dew points at least in the 60s. So we've got a bit of a heat wave coming into play through the weekend, but by next Monday, still sunny. Highs at least in the mid 80s by then, but lows will still be in the 60s. And remember, rain chances pretty much minimal, but we can't rule out a slight 20% chance of a pop-up storm.